Hey, Andy.
Hey, Jay-Z, how are you?
So excited to have you after all those beta meetings that we've been having for your product.
Yes, I feel like you're a close friend now.
I
Spent
think
so
I've
long talking with you.
given you a lot of feedback, so happy to have your
We love
voice
it.
on the show.
We love it.
Well, welcome everyone to episode 13 of founderdesignThinking.com. Our goal is to find more than 10 unicorns, so we're at 13. I'm Jay-Z, and I love advising companies to take them from 0 to 1. I provide software on creativity, opportunity sizing, and note-taking, and of course, coaching. Everyone in the comment section, please say hi in the chat and help me welcome Andy.
Hello.
Andy, give us your intro.
Cool. I'll keep it fairly quick. About 7 years ago, I joined a couple of others to found a company called ContentCal, so a social media management platform to help people organize, publish their social media content. So I did that 7 years ago, built it up to many thousands of paying customers in 130 countries, raised, I think, about 10 million of investment over that time. And the most magical thing happened at the end of 2021, where we got bought by none other than Adobe. So quite simply, one of the most incredible companies on the planet. And yeah, dream come true, to be honest. So ever since December 21, we've been busy building our features into Adobe Express. I'll explain more about Adobe Express in a second, but yeah, doing that. And then we rebuilt it again for what you just mentioned, the Adobe Express beta. So the kind of whole next generation of Adobe Express. And yeah, we're super excited about what we're building here. And it's an absolute honor and privilege to be part of it, to be honest. So yeah, so now it's really turning the story into like creating a really good point solution for organizing and distributing your content to an all-in-one platform to come up with ideas, create, build things with the assistance of AI, create content for all types of content, not just social, but social being a predominant use case, and then being able to publish that. So like real like end-to-end journey around social content creation to really unleash people's creativity and help people get found online. And that's the thing that still continues to inspire me. Hence, I am still here and enjoying every moment. There you go. How's
Awesome.
that?
I think I've broken some of that already, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, will you do a demo of Adobe? Because I want to, have a lot of visuals to go with this talk about visuals.
Cool. Let's do a bit of a walkthrough. So hopefully you'll see the screen in a second. See that all right?
Let me add the screen to the stream.
Cool.
Okay. You're good to go.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, cool. So this is the new version of Adobe Express. It's still a beta, so it's still a long way to go. But yeah, really excited. This is kind of the platform for the future, really. Rebuilt it from the ground up to facilitate some really important use cases like collaboration, which we'll touch on in a second. Mobile will be a huge component of this. We never really got that right at ContentCal, being able to have creators to unleash their creativity and publish their content to social from mobile. So really excited to bring that. And also some of the generative AI stuff as well, which obviously we'll touch on too. So let's have a very quick walk around. This is the homepage. Here we've got different categories of the type of content. So based on what it is that you want to achieve, we can go and do that. So social media naturally will be where a lot of people will head. Here we've got a whole bunch of kind of pre-sized layouts based on the channels that are important to you, based on popular. We could also break it down by additional channel. We can start from our content. So if we've got some photos on our phone or videos, etc., we can build from that and move forward. We've got some really popular quick actions. As you can see, there's lots more still to come. As it's a beta, it's growing all the time. But really popular ones like removing background, resizing images, those things that constantly hold us back and take time, we can just do in a snap here. Templates is obviously a huge part of this too, so we can find and get inspiration in a whole manner of new ways. Video is also a huge component of this too. So it was never really possible in the previous version of Adobe Express, or the current one, I should really call it. But now we've kind of unleashed all this video capability. You know how popular Reels, TikToks are, etc. So now we can create and edit our videos directly here. So really is super powerful, all in one, incredibly expressive, pardon the pun. So let's start with a little bit of inspiration. So one of the things that's always a really good start point, like in your stuff here, we can have our brands. So here I'm going to kind of mock up this fictitious donut brand called Andy's Donuts, rather imaginatively. So we can save our brand assets here. So our logos, our fonts, for example, colors, and we can preview how the brand's going to look, and also kind of like brand assets saved as graphics here too. But speaking about inspiration, there's really a few ways that we can get inspired. So here we might already have content that we have on our device already that we want to start from. That's absolutely fine. It's also worthwhile noting that this Adobe Express works with like Photoshop and Illustrator as well. So if you use other Adobe products, this is kind of nicely integrated. So we can start from our existing Photoshop or Illustrator projects. Explore is a new area, so this is fantastic for gaining some inspiration. So let's say, I'm about to launch a donut shop. Here I can be inspired by a whole bunch of templates, one of the world's largest stock libraries, which is just awesome. Loads of videos. We're going to use those videos in a bit to give us some inspiration, because if we want to create a bit of a launch video, we can start using some of the stock video. Loads of design assets and backgrounds. You'll see how delightfully colorful this is. So Explore's great for inspiration. But something else, like if we're not looking for inspiration, sometimes we kind of know what we want to create, but maybe we don't have any photos or existing media to work from, or maybe we can't find anything that quite hits the mark in the templates and Explore area. We now have text to image. So we have the ability to generate anything we want. So if we can believe it, or if we can see it in our minds, then we can do it. So let's say, let's imagine in this instance, we're about to launch a new product line as part of our donut brand, and it's a donut-inspired birthday cake. So we want to create something that's going to be kind of eye-catching on Instagram, for example. So we could start here if we wanted to. So I'm going to search for donut exploding out of a birthday cake. Ooh, I'll correct my spelling in a second. Thank the Lord for Grammarly. Right, let's generate. So we can change some different content types if we want to. I'm going to choose this as a photo, I think, in this one. We've got loads of other ways that we could optimize this to, different movements if we wanted to, different themes and techniques. Really, really cool. So here, so you can see some of like the really cool perspectives we can have on it. And now let's just say quite like, yeah, maybe this one. We can continue generating, we can play with different prompts, we can play with different styles, but let's kind of go with this because I'm only doing this fairly quickly. Now we've generated it, just pressing back here just means that this asset just becomes ours to work with. We could remove the background if we so wish, so we could start like creating this and making it feel like ours. We can adjust the brightness, contrast, saturation, all of that kind of stuff. Animate components of this too. But what we can also do is start to make it feel like our own. So this Your Stuff area is one of my favorites because all of the stuff you regularly need is at the tip of your fingers. So all of your libraries that you might have saved some inspiration in, so photos that you've uploaded, other things that you've created, all there, as well as our brands. So here, let's go to the right brand. Here we can just drag and drop and bring in our logo for our brand. And here, we can just start brandifying this piece, adding our kind of logos and fonts, adding our text into it. So using our brand fonts as well, because likely we will have some brand fonts here. So there we go. We can kind of add our text in our brand font, go ahead and, make it feel like ours. So Andy's Donuts is our brand name. So just pop that down here. Obviously that doesn't pop at the moment. So what we can easily do is do things like shape, and also make sure the shape fill applies to our brand colors too. So you get the idea of how, if you can see something in your mind's eye, you can then create it. Now, of course, I'd spend a bit longer designing this, but, kind of looks eye-catching for this kind of launch of this new product line. A couple of things we can do whilst we're here. We can invite other people.
Sorry, yeah. Andy, we have a comment in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
You want to take questions as we go?
Yeah, please. Definitely. Let's do it.
All right. So Carrie Jordan says, what was that on AI?
It was. It was.
Awesome.
So yeah, absolutely. So this is generative AI creating this thing that we've thought in our mind, but it would have taken us hours to create it, and now it's taken us 2 minutes to do something like this. So super powerful, and it's ours to do whatever we need to. And so, I mean, we'll get into AI. We'll talk more about this anyway after we've done the demo. But yeah, really good point, Kerry. Cool. So a couple of things we could do. Let's say we wanted to work with a colleague on this or a client. So maybe we want some advice. We need to collaborate. Really easy to do. So we can just invite individuals to join us here. So if I want to invite you, Jay-Z, I don't have your email address here, but if I wanted to invite you, you get triggered an email. I can choose what role I want you to play, like an editor or just someone that can view it. And then as soon as you get the invite, we can see each other's mouse moving around at the same time. So it's kind of live co-editing. If you ever use tools like Miro or Google Sheets, you can see people's mouse moving around. It becomes a really nice collaborative experience. Of course, we can add comments and such. So really focus a lot on the collaboration piece. And of course, we can go ahead and start to use the ContentCal features that we baked into Adobe Express. So much more of this stuff to come. And we can talk about that as well if we need to. So here we can just go ahead and say, right, well, we're now ready to promote our new line of donut-inspired birthday cakes. We can go ahead and use multiple channels, for example. I'm just going to do 2 in this instance because they're the only 2 I have connected. I'm only just going to do some nonsense caption because I'm not actually going to post this. Here, we can also use hashtags. We can mention people just by using the @mention symbol, add some emojis, whatever we need to do to make it feel right. Hashtags, I'll just do hashtag donut, for example, that kind of stuff. So all of that will work once it's posted. Previews, everyone loves because we can see exactly how it's going to look across all the different social platforms. Make sure our kind of hook is right and the kind of things that sit between, like especially on LinkedIn, the kind of lines that go above see more. So really important when we can see like the first couple of lines to make sure our hook is correct. And with that, then we can just share it. Oh, let me just show you that again very quickly. Let's add it to multiple channels, and I'll just put the caption in here. And we can save it as draft if we want to, which is great if we want to come back to it. But either way, this is a really quick way of starting to fill our social media calendar. I'm actually going to put this out tomorrow. Let's do that. So I'm going to add that as draft, and we'll go back to the calendar in a second. But cool, so that's done. That's now added to our calendar. Now we're directed right back to the editor to continue working. So what I'm going to do in this instance, I'm going to add a new page. So on this new page, however, I want to make this a reel. So here we go. So we've got a second page to this. So as you can see, the first one's all about our donut-inspired birthday cake, which we're going to put on Insta. But for reel, on this reel, we're going to promote the upcoming launch of this new donut shop. So here, what we're going to do is just resize this page because we want this to be an Instagram reel. So we're just going to resize the page, nice and easy. Go to our media here. Again, we could use text to image, kind of generative AI stuff that we were doing. But for video, we're going to use some of the stock video. And as we saw when we're looking through the explore area at the start of this, you can see we had lots of really inspiring content for this donut orientated video. So I'm just going to drag something I like. So into the first scene here, make it a bit shorter because it's meant to be short. So we can show how this is going to play out. You see it works really quickly. It's a little bit slow for me, this video, so I'm just going to speed it up a bit. So speed up the video. There you go. So sprinkles dropping a little bit quicker. Orientation is not right, but that's no problem. So we can just fill the video. Add another scene. So we want to show how have a bit of B-roll so we can see how our donuts are made. Drag that one in again. Once again, fit the video to the page. There you go. Move that down a little bit. So now what we can also do is, as we begin to kind of make this video, and won't go through all the process because we haven't got time today, but here, what we're going to do is add our brand assets here because we want that on the front page, add our text again. As you can see, it's kind of remembering our font because that's our brand font. So again, we'll just add the logo here, Andy's Donuts. Again, because this isn't standing out, we just want to use our shadow effect, or shape effect rather. Let's go back to that. And let's go to shape. Let's do that. And let's make sure it's on our brand colors. And then here, what we can do is just multi-select a couple of these elements. We can group those together because they're one and the same, and we can animate these things. So we're going to have that one, let's say, fading in. So when we play the video, really easily we can start to make some content that's based on stock video start to really feel like ours. And of course, you can upload your own video into this, as you would expect that you might have shot on a phone. But how easy is that to start creating content across lots of different content formats, etc. And then what we can do with any of these elements, because we're working on like a campaign across like the launch of this donut brand. Let's say if we wanted, this that we'll go back to, we could resize this to put this as an Insta story, for example. And maybe we want this as, we could put a Pinterest idea pin, for example, Instagram carousel, whatever we want. Basically duplicate and resize. So resizing that media to all of these different sizes as well. So we can start to create content that is kind of native feeling across all of these different form factors. We might want to go ahead and post that too. So with that, I think that probably goes through it at a high level. So let me just stop sharing for a second. If I can find the stop sharing button. There we go, stop screen. There you go, we're back.
Amazing.
Hopefully that makes some sense. Flew through that, but hopefully it gives you an idea.
Yeah, you can do so much in so little time and do it on mobile too. So it's been quite addictive, actually.
Yeah, I'm pleased. Well, maybe addictive, I'm not less pleased about, but I'm glad you're enjoying it and you want to get into it. There's a question for Kerry on the screen. I'm not sure what bit that relates to.
Yeah, I think she was talking about the AI bit where you were generating the
right.
donuts.
Cool.
So I thought maybe I could just play around and we can co-create a post.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds like fun.
We'll start with the AI part that Carrie and Mark are both really impressed with in the chat. All right. So I usually do this on mobile, but I'm going to try it on web. And I think the destination, we were saying that video doesn't work on share yet, right? So should I just start with the still?
Yeah, let's just do still. Yeah.
Okay, so starting from my content. I have this white poppy in my mailbox, in front of my mailbox. So I create a new canvas, right?
Yeah, so you just want to start from your photo, so that's cool. So you can use the original layout, or if you want to make that Insta post, you can just go ahead and do that. So yeah, it's a really good flow to show, like starting from your photo, which will be a really common one for sure. So yeah,
okay.
pick
I'll
whatever
pick the original because I don't know if Instagram will let me, but I'm curious. As a product manager, I'm always breaking things, so don't take it personally. Okay, so now we're at this generative text part. I'm not actually sure how I got here.
So as you've uploaded this, typically what most people want to do is layer text on images. So here you're just in the text area on the left-hand side. So those generative, let me break this down in two ways. So as you can see, right on the far left, you see you're defaulted into the text menu.
Yeah.
So here you could just press add your text and you can use some of the fonts or use the brand fonts that I'd saved earlier. So you won't have those. And then what it's also doing is suggesting some effects that you might like. So this is the second part of AI that I haven't shown yet. So it might be fun to show that too.
Okay. So let's say here, I want to write the word green because in my product dotherainbow.com, today's Thursday and it's always green. So let's say that I want to generate green text that has the letter G in it. So I think that we go to text effects, right? Mm-hmm. And then I had a problem with this before because in ChatGPT, you have to write the whole prompt, like the word green with the letters G in it. But I think here you just type G and will it put G in the text?
So yeah, I guess that's probably not specific enough. So you've written a text green, which is fine. So what do you want that text to be?
Like I want the text, like in the letter G, I want little G's.
Okay, well, let's be more specific. Let's say, letters filled with G's, something like that. Something that's very specific, as if you're explaining it to another human being that you wanted to design it.
Oh, okay, I can say that. Letters filled with G's. Okay.
I mean, I've never prompted it like this, so I'm as curious as you are to find out about that. So yeah, scroll down and then hit generate.
I know it's quite meta, so it might not work. Oh, it worked.
Yeah, there you
Amazing. Go. Okay. Cool.
Cool. Nice. I'm pleased that worked. And if you wanted it to be filled with green G's, then you just ask for it. So basically, see it as like a co-pilot or an assistant, where you would just be describing explicitly what you want. So the more explicit you can be with something, the better the results will be.
I see.
So there you go.
Okay, there were white G's. I'm going to say yellow. All right, and then let's say I want to. There are my very confusing yellow G's in the the word green because I want to be meta and confusing. Okay. All right. So
cool.
Let's say I want to schedule it. So then
cool. Yeah.
Share.
So because of this layout, it wouldn't be an Instagram friendly layout because it's so landscape. So I would say, probably Facebook is the most tolerant of like landscape orientated photos. So you can hit the schedule post button, which allows you to put it to multiple channels, or if you just want to put it on one, you can go ahead and just hit Facebook, for example, whatever channel you want, really.
Because my Instagram posts have been going through and my Facebook posts have all failed, I want to try it. So
cool.
Cool. I thought I was connected. So
yeah,
I guess this is the long-lived token issue with Google and Meta, or how am I not connected anymore? Okay, anyway.
Cool. Well, it's good. You can go through the connection flow, so yeah, everyone can see that too.
Can you see this pop up?
Can't see the pop up actually. So yeah, we're just looking at the screen where it just says connect to Facebook, but that's okay.
Okay. I'm promising I'm doing the flow right now, and continue as Jenny's saying. It gives me all my groups, which is nice. So it's not sorted, so I have to find my group manually. And I guess Adobe has no control over this, right?
So how the groups display?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good feedback actually, because we can make that alphabetical. We'll need a bit of extra work, but yeah, finding the group, especially if you're a member of quite a few of them, can be a challenge. So yeah, we had the same issue at ContentCal, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So Meta doesn't control that.
Yeah, we have limited. It's not unlimited control, but there's some things we can do there.
Okay, you've now linked Adobe Express to Facebook. All right, we're redirecting you to Facebook. Okay, select page profile, return to Adobe Express. Okay. And is there a way to kind of use my brand name so I don't have to keep retyping it, or each time I post, I would have to retype it?
Love these questions. So right now, you have to manually do it, but we at ContentCal, we had a really useful feature which would have been good for this, called snippets. So basically you save any bits of text that you regularly use, hashtags or whatever. So we're just evaluating when we bring that back in. Yeah, so there's a lot to build.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. So cool. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna assume that because it's previewing well, it's going to work.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
So if it's not going to work, will it also not preview?
There can be a number of reasons why posts can fail. Yeah, so that is something that's just sometimes it's a challenge for every single social media platform, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite hard to say.
Okay.
But if you want to publish it, then see how we go. Live testing always makes me a bit nervous.
I know, but I thought I had a higher chance with you here.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
So let's see. How do I see it? I think I have to go back to home, and in my schedule, I should see whether these are all my previous Facebook failures, but Instagram successes. So we're going to today. Oh, this is today. Oh, it's publishing. Okay.
All right. So yeah, it might take even though it's published now, might take a couple of minutes or so, because yeah, I won't bore you with the technical reasons for that, but it's never going to be like immediately like sending a text. It can be a minute or something. Oh, but there you go. A minute's clearly passed. So published.
Interesting. Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
So
it worked because you were here.
There you go. So yeah, I'm not sure. We'd have to look at the other ones, but yeah, strange that it was disconnected anyway. But yeah, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. We've been doing this for many years, so yeah, it should be fine. But yeah,
okay,
all good.
All right, let's check the chat if there are any other questions. But see, Carrie has a question about scheduling. Let me do the generative AI test, and then we'll go back to the question.
Awesome.
All right. So let's say I want to create a story, and in it, I want to put dancing rainbows. So
nice. Yes. Cool.
In media, I guess it would be generating video.
We can't generate video yet. It's only statics right now.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
So then
there it is.
How
it's
do I
just at the top.
Text to image.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Cool. And as this is, I would do this as portrait because yeah, we want to orientate it the same kind of layout. We can make this bigger and fill the screen in a sec. So yeah,
okay.
No drama with that. This will be fun.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So these are all existing. I mean, these are not searches. So it's a recombination of other images into a dance, or how did the AI generate this?
I don't know, to be honest. And it'll always be different. Like this machine is getting trained all the time. So that's why, we could be more specific with our prompt, for example, like rainbows you could even change it like rainbows that are dancing, or rainbows dancing, by a stream or something like that. Being more specific again is like the thing we want.
Okay.
Let's have a look and see what we get. So I think a really important point to mention about this kind of generative AI stuff is that it's all trained on permissioned content. And that is a big difference between how Adobe is thinking about generative AI versus others, is that it makes it the world's first commercially safe platform to use, right? Because essentially when you're looking at and gathering data from everywhere on the internet, it's not actually yours. So even though you've created something, AI's created something unique for you, and we all love using ChatGPT, for example, what it's creating isn't, well, one, we can't validate how unique it is. You can't ever really in AI, but what you can't validate is the source of that content and how much of that really you can use. And that's a challenge. Whereas like for this specific implementation from Adobe, this is why I have a huge amount of respect for the engineers that are building this. It's because it's permissioned, and that's really, really important. Cool, right? So we're getting some interesting results here.
Oh no.
Oh no, you did say you can break things, so
yes.
So yeah, true to form.
That's very strange. I didn't do anything. It just
snap.
Maybe timed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if it comes back, because I wanted to make it look more like a painterly oil painting instead of like a computer generated thing. So
cool. Well, let's play around with that. Hopefully it'll reload it. That's always the thing. Like, you prompt it the next time, even with the same words, you're going to get something different. So making sure you save the stuff as you go, right? So if you just click on the media,
okay,
that got generated, and you just click text to image. Again, that will enter you back into the kind of text to image flow. Cool.
So we were talking about, you and I offline, we were talking about like reality versus fantasy and AI. So a lot of the AI artists I follow on Instagram are very fake, like it all just looks like a computer. So in terms of making it look more hand-drawn, we're already in the art section, which should be like more hand-drawn. And then how would I make it look more like human?
So yeah, have a look in techniques.
Okay.
Pencil drawing, painting, line drawing. So
what this does. And I have to generate it again?
Yeah, regenerate. Because you can choose more. It's not like a single select. You could do watercolor, like neon, like whatever. Basically, you can do lots of different styles to it. It's not just one style. So we can really start to play around with it.
I love this one. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So is that what you saw in your mind's eye about like dancing rainbow?
Yeah. And the more watercolor, like imperfect it is, the more I like it, right? Because I feel like there's the author, the artist's hand making mistakes, making light and dark yellows versus just like a computer making it all yellow. Like I like that.
Really nice. Yeah, that's cool. So like for one that you like the look of, you can just kind of come back out of the text to image area in the top left, of which then kind of yeah, you could just close it there. That's fine. Yeah, left or right, that's the same thing. And yeah, clicking on the media, as you've got that already, you could like set it as a, oh sorry, if you just click on the media, click on the image again for me. Yeah, you could set this as the page background if you wanted to, so it's going to fill the whole screen, which is just in the middle on the left. just under where it says blend.
Just set as page background.
Yeah. So so kind of fill the screen for the story. Then you've got like effects and things you can do with it. So now you can make this feel even more yours. And as it's a story, you might want to bring it to life with additional animation. So you might want to have some elements on top of it. You might want to put some text on top of whatever the story is that you want to tell. So maybe if you let's do a couple of quick ones. So if you go into elements on the left-hand side.
We're going to co-create. So I'm going to be your hand. You're going to tell me what you want to put on it.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Put me on the spot now. Right, cool. So let's go to...
Well, you're the donut master, so we already trust your aesthetic.
Cool. So in design assets, I wonder if we can look at, type in watercolor. I don't even know if there's anything here, but I wonder if there is.
Okay.
Just let's have a look. Is there anything that will go? Okay, cool. There's some kind of rainbow effects in there. Okay, let's have a look. So these are the things that we can just add to give our design just a little bit of kind of extra pizzazz if we need to. So let's actually bring in that one because we're conscious of time. So let's kind of do something fairly quickly. So let's do it at the top. Let's get that one that looks kind of rainbow colored at the top, kind of like let's drag that in. So now we can move that around as well. Probably going to stick it on the left-hand side given the layout of that.
Okay.
So we can, maybe if you make that a touch bigger, because we might put some text at the bottom potentially. And then what you can do, if you come out of elements, just hit the X, or the little cross button to come back out of elements. Cool. And then you've got that blend mode. So you see you've got blend in the middle. It currently says normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, this gives you an opportunity to like make it sit a bit nicer on the design. I find that quite useful, especially when you've got something quite delicate like watercolors. Although that does look like it's blended quite well into it. So this is quite useful. That as you can see, the screen like blend allows you to make something quite adjust the opacity really quickly, so it just fits into the design. But I think this is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and just to show this for purpose of demo. So if you scroll to the bottom, so
you're going to keep the blend at normal?
Yeah, we'll keep it normal actually, because I think it looks good. Just wanted to show it. So go to animation for me.
Yeah. So what I like about the blend, it just reminds me so much of Photoshop, right? Like all those existing tools. Okay, let's loop it. Which one do you want?
So I think we'll probably have that fading in, given like, I think let's come out of looping. Let's probably just have that sliding in. I think, coat in, and then, let's slide in from the bottom left. So you got right in the bottom left here, you got slide. So let's kind of add that. So now we've got some kind of like video elements to this. So as you can see, we've now, that kind of triggers the timeline to come up. So we can, as we saw when we were doing that quick video editing, when I was sharing, doing the kind of very similar thing. So now we've got like full video control over this. So we can do lots more with this, adding more components, but let's add some text. Let's do this as the kind of final thing in our story. Let's go ahead, add our text. Now, so in our text here, I mean, don't know what to say with this. So got any thoughts of the story you want to tell in this story?
We can just say co-create.
Yeah, let's do. I like that. We're just going to put co-create. Get rid of the other bits and bobs, and you'll see just whilst you're kind of editing that, the recommended fonts are always generating, and you can always view those. So these aren't like generative AI ones that you were doing earlier, Jay-Z. So these, if you scroll up to the top for me.
I see. Okay.
Cool. So, and then you can click view all, because choosing font is a bit of a nightmare unless you've got like a brand font that you always want to use. Like just getting some inspiration, because our kind of, there is a bit of AI going on here. We're just kind of analyzing the design and showing some things that might be suitable for this. So yeah, we can.
I kind of like this one.
Yeah, that would have been my go-to as well. So here we can now like change the size of it. We can drag it around just like any kind of normal like text editing, as you'd expect.
Okay, so then I can just click on the media and it'll take me to a different tools.
So yeah, well, and you can make it larger in there. You can drag it around.
I see.
Nice and easy.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So let's kind of fit that in, and then we can go ahead and animate that. Of course, we can change like colors of the text as well if you scroll down, because if we want to, maybe because black maybe looks a little harsh, so we can go ahead, use that. You can use the eyedropper here. So got that right at the top. Cool. So maybe use the eyedropper to pick on a color that we've got somewhere around. Yeah, you get the idea. Probably want to play around with that a little bit more. Of course, we can play with opacity and shadows, and try and do a little bit more until we're pretty happy. We could also, because we've got the watercolor vibe going on, we could just use like the generative text stuff that we did again, and like do it as like a watercolor effect, for example. So if like again, so we never have to be constrained to choices anymore. We can, let's have a go. Let's do this as the final thing, because I think it really shows
the text effect.
Yeah, and so just search watercolor, and let's see what we get.
Oh, interesting. So it's
not what I expected.
Yeah, it's not what I expected either, because it's putting, is it remembering my text prompt from before?
It's not actually, but what it is doing, however, because we selected a font, so you notice that it's working it within that font, because that font has like that kind of hole in it, which I think is a bit challenging for the text effect, because it just shows you can apply text effects to existing fonts. But we'd probably want to play with that prompt a little bit, but it's quite cool. It's quite effective anyway, that's for sure. And it's a nice way to make things just fit quite nicely on the design.
What do you mean that the text has a hole in it?
So the font that we chose has like, if you kind of went back, you would notice that the font that we chose and the style of font has like a line, a bit of it that's kind of cut out in the middle. It's just the style of it. Hence the reason you're seeing it look a bit different. So that bungee font we used has like a cutout in it. I'm struggling with a better way to describe it. But yeah, I think for the purposes of this, let's go ahead and add one more animation to this. So scroll to the bottom. Let's animate this bit of text.
Okay.
And let's have that one looping. And let's kind of have that breathing, something like that.
Oh, can we do this?
Wow. Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced. I'm not entirely convinced. Kind of feels a bit like first generation PowerPoint. So cool. So I think that's really useful. You see underneath the timeline, you've got show layer timing.
Yeah.
So if you toggle that on, so you can see how those animations kind of interact, and when those things come in, you can kind of like time them to appear at certain times if you want to. So you can really start kind of structuring like unlimited numbers of animations, so things can overlay on each other, and you can start to create something that started from a static starting point. You can start to make a kind of like a really vivid moving image as well with it. And yeah, I think let's play it through as a final thing, because I think that's cool. So something that suits a story, something that feels pretty darn unique as well, which is nice. Yes, would probably want to. The font is still bothering me, but like we can mess about and play with that. But we get the idea for 3 minutes work. I think that's probably good to show off some of the features in the product.
Okay. Well, I think that, co-creation, like collaboration, is one of those features. And I don't have you in my collaborators, but if I did, I would probably, invite you, and then you probably do it on your own without the pressure of everyone watching and you being on video. And so I'm so sorry. Exactly. I didn't mean to put you on pressure, but I just trust your aesthetic. So I thought you'd do a great job.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it would have. I definitely should have joined you with it and done it together. But that would have been an even better demo. But yeah, I think it's just fun showing it on both ways, especially for the context of like you going through it as someone that hasn't been there like immersed in using the product every day. I think it's really interesting as well for me watching you kind of interact and go through it, because it's not the finished article, but it's a huge leap forward, and really proud of the product that the team have created here.
Yeah, let's go back to, I'm going to stop sharing. Let's go back to the comments and see if we can answer any of these questions. So Carrie's saying that she loved ContentCal.
I know Carrie well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Oh, the scheduling via the mobile app. So, I'm on a lot of scheduler platforms, like Airshare and Hootsuite and, all the competitors. So, but your Adobe Express allows carousel and video posts to Instagram and Facebook in the future. And so you have a lot more functionality that, some of the others don't. So Carrie's asking, like, why does the scheduling have to go through your mobile app if I'm starting on your desktop?
Well, at the moment for the beta of Express, the one that we were just talking about, there is no mobile app yet. It's coming. And all of the Instagram stuff very, very soon won't require any use of a mobile app at all. So everything will be able to be direct published. So yeah, that will be very soon. It's a matter of weeks, and you'll be able to publish anything through anything through Instagram. You won't need the mobile push notifications and the reminders that Kerry you would know from ContentCal days. That stuff is going away because it's going to get so much easier. Already you can direct schedule carousels, so multi-image posts, video posts, that kind of stuff. But Reels and Stories is something that we'll be adding for you to be able to direct publish. But yeah, we're still building it all out within the beta, and I'm talking exclusively about the beta right now, which is where like the real focus of the development of the product is now, as you probably can appreciate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, changing tech stacks and integrating a whole new product. I've done that. I've led that.
I bet you have. Yeah.
Quite a bit. So, anyone else in the chat have any questions for Andy? I think as people are typing, maybe I'll end with one question about generative AI. So a lot of the stuff feels very digitized. So in terms of your user base, are people using it to generate mostly like computer looking images, or are they trying to generate like more of a handmade kind of Etsy aesthetic? Or maybe you can just tell us like what people are making with generative AI on Adobe Express.
Hugely varies, to be honest, and I think a lot of people are in exploration mode where from my own personal perspective, I'm seeing a lot of like excitement and interest around this as a feature, unsurprisingly, but the real world use cases are still emerging and yet to emerge. There's a lot of like, it's funny, I was talking about it with the rest of the team, like when you give people like free reign, you're like, great, whatever you want, ask it. And it's amazing. Like so many people go, I don't know. Like, what do I say? What do I do? And I think there's skill in trying to think about like how to prompt something, how to get the result that you want, as you know, perfectly demonstrated when we were going through this today. And that's why we often work with creative agencies or in our own business lives, because we need someone to help us imagine what's possible, right? It's difficult to just be given a blank canvas and go, create whatever you want. It's actually quite challenging. So I find lots of people defaulting to like mystical and magical. So it kind of other end of the spectrum. So many people generate like unicorns and magical castles, which is fascinating. It's fascinating to me. Like, this wouldn't be what these people would typically generate, but given like the fact that they can do whatever they want, seemingly unicorns and magical castles is where people go. And I see the other end of the spectrum where prompts aren't quite specific enough, and oftentimes like text to image is queried like a stock image library, like person in an office. And of course, like those results don't really live up to scratch, really, because it's not specific enough. Where you find like good quality output is through like good quality input. When you're very specific, you can see what's in your mind, and quite often you take a few times to like generate something. You're like, oh, okay, that looks quite good, but maybe I need to put it in this location or have something else in the photo. You know, it's that kind of stuff. So the synopsis across like a very long narrative for me is that it's widely varied, but there is a kind of a skill gap between what typically people are. It's difficult, basically, without casting judgment on anyone. It is difficult to prompt something, even when it's easy to do. Just type in and you get it. It's actually difficult to like really imagine, like see in your mind's eye what you can do. But for those that know what they want, it's a game-changing tool, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the magical mystery end of the spectrum is where people are having a lot of success on social. So because it's so weird and impressive, and your advice there is really just to put in more keywords and more details that the machine can give you more of what you want.
Exactly. Okay. To make it kind of everyday utility, because I spend most of my time talking to like small business owners and that kind of stuff, where it's pretty rare that a magical mystery, like incredibly complex dragon, is going to be useful. It's fun to create. It's fun to like imagine, like go into some kind of like dreamland, but like everyday business utility is quite different. So I'm really excited all this stuff has come to like a really useful end-to-end creative tool, so that and we're going to be putting a lot of kind of help and guidance as well around it. And I think we're just at the start of an incredible AI journey, as we all are as a society, which is fascinating.
Yeah, so we're at the end of this podcast journey. I'd love for you to do an outro. Carrie's asking when all the AI features will be available, and I think it is available to everyone. So
there's 2 AI features that are available in Express right now. So we've been playing text to image and text effects. But what Carrie might be thinking of, Adobe Firefly, which is basically all of the creative models, of which you can use for free. Just search Adobe Firefly. You'll find some other stuff on there. One thing that's gone like viral is been the generative fill stuff. So you take a photo of you have so much fun with this. Take a photo of yourself, and it will fill in all the surroundings, or a photo or whatever, and say, I want a spaceship behind me or whatever. You can do some really cool stuff because you're starting from like a baseline as well. Like there's some really cool stuff that people have done for like adverts and those things, like a picture of a reindeer that was taken in a forest, but then made that reindeer appear on like a New York street at night, and it just looks so cool. And you can see the real world applications for that, because it's much more kind of product centric. Like I've got a photo of my donut for my shop, and I want that donut in any setting, any surrounding, being held by anyone. That's amazing to get that level of like product photography, which is just is not achievable unless you're or historically has not been achievable unless you're a massive brand with massive budget. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's It's amazing what you can do in a couple of minutes.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna end here. Thanks so much, Andy, for co-creating on the spot.
That's been fun.
It really speaks to all that you've done to invite your users into the Adobe Express beta, and I'll be having more demos and AI guests on this podcast, Founder Design Thinking, and welcome potential clients to reach out on design thinking, consulting, and career coaching as well. So let's give some snaps and comments. Carrie just said that she got the AI features after she refreshed. So we will end on that high point.
Sweet. Love that. Amazing. Fantastic.
Amazing.
Thanks, Carrie. Appreciate you joining.
All right. Bye, Andy.
Awesome. Thanks so much. See you soon.